work to resolve the emotions at their root. Okay. So let's get into section 1 here, mapping your performance. What we're going to talk about is this idea of an A, a B, and a C game when it comes to your trading performance. Okay. Straight out of the book here, A, B, and C game. What's the A game? The A game is when your emotions are clear and stable. You would probably describe yourself as trading in the zone or close to it. You make high quality decisions because there's no negative emotional interference with your process. Emotions are not interfering with your process when you're trading on your A game. You're clear, you're smooth, you're in the zone. Let's contrast that to your C game. Your emotions are highly volatile. That's the primary cause for poor performance. You make low quality decisions you know are wrong. You're making trades that you know are wrong, and you're watching yourself almost third person saying, like, why am I doing this? They can be glaring, like refusing to exit at a predetermined risk point, or subtle, like reading too much into the price action or forcing trades. Forcing trades that lack a back-tested edge. This can also be like hesitation, where you're just over-analyzing something that you think fits your plan, but maybe it doesn't, and you're not sure, and you're hesitating. Subtle, but C game. Emotions are really messing up your process. B game then naturally is sort of in between the two. Your emotions are present, enough to hold you back from being in your A game, but not so strong as to pull you down into your C game. Okay? The only guarantee is your C game, because the skills presented at that level, for better or for worse, have been mastered. These are the skills that show up easily and automatically. They are in your subconscious. Your knee-jerk reaction are your C game traits. Your A and B game, on the other hand, are earned. They're earned through study and backtesting, efforts to be in prime physical, mental, and emotional condition, hours collaborating with other traders, and other work you do to become a better trader. Collectively, your A, B, and B game power your ability to escape your C game each day, right? I want you to think about this idea of the A, B, and C game, because it's not as if you're trading constantly all the time in one way, and suddenly you're trading bad for a spurt, suddenly you're trading good, and you're trying to decipher, well, are the outcomes my trading? Or is my process my trading, right? In trading, we have to understand that variance is part of performance-based pursuits like market speculation. We can have good setups, a good process, and be taking good trades, but we can have those trades sometimes go against us. And that doesn't necessarily mean that we're trading poorly. And so if you start to think about your trading in this idea of the A and the B and the C, if you're trading clear-headed to your plan and in the zone, you now have a way to assess if you're trading well, even if the trade outcomes might be in a negative state of variance, right? By the same token, you may sometimes be trading in your C game, but hey, you're going for whatever reason with the trend, it's carrying you, and poor setups, bad trade setups are actually profitable. You need to understand how to separate your C game performance from what may be positive variance, positive upside in your account. Put it into things that you can control. Your A, B, and C game, assess your performance that way, and don't just rely on the performance of the most recent trades, for example, okay? Now, through this lens of A, B, and C game, and the performance that we have in each, and the way we're thinking in each, and if we're able to access our trade plans or not, we're going to parse an A, B, and C game mistakes, because the mistakes at each one of these levels are different. We have A game mistakes, which are learning mistakes. B game mistakes, marginal mistakes. C game, obvious mistakes, okay? A game mistakes caused by something technical. For example, knowledge you haven't yet gained, or a recent change in the market you have yet to identify. These are learning mistakes. You could have not have prevented them. There's no way you could have prevented them. And they're an inherent part of the learning process, okay? Marginal mistakes. You have some emotional chaos holding you back from your A game, but not enough to drop you down to your C game. There's some degree of tactical error, something that you need to learn, but it may not be super obvious yet. And then there are these C game obvious mistakes. Errors found in your C game are so obvious, there's nothing for you to learn tactically. Instead, mental and emotional flaws cause these mistakes. What are some examples of C game mistakes? Overriding a rule in your trade plan. You know you shouldn't do it. You know you shouldn't. It's not new information that you're learning about the markets or your method or a better way to do things or that market regimes are changing. You have a rule and you just overrode it, right? You overrode that rule. Increasing position sizing on a gut feeling. Impulsively entering a trade. Just impulse, I feel like it. These are C game mistakes you know you shouldn't be doing. Now I want you to think about your A and your B and your C game, positive performance as well as mistakes, as a bell curve. The frequency of your trading and then your performance, whether your performance is good or bad. We spend most of our time by definition in our B game, right? It's normal. Most of our trades will be in our B game. When we're really in the zone, it's great, but it's not the majority of the time. Otherwise, it wouldn't be exceptional performance, right? It wouldn't be our best. By the same token, we don't spend the majority of our time in our C game. By definition, then that would be our B game. But the C game is just when your emotions get overactive, they override your ability to access your trading plan, and you make these obvious mistakes you know you shouldn't be making. Negative performance, positive performance. Your performance, not necessarily your trading outcomes, right? However, overall, when you look at all of this in sum, your trading performance over multiple trades, after 100 trades, your expected performance will be somewhere here in the middle of your band, somewhere in the middle of your B game, right? Now, with this knowledge, how can we think about improving our overall expected results? Over time, how do we continually get better outcomes to our trading based on what we control, which is our performance, okay? And our actions and our process. Well, here's the hint here. Anyone know what this is? This is an inchworm. And I'm going to introduce this inchworm concept that Jared introduced me to. Here's how to think about it. Think about we have the spectrum from novice trader over here over to expert. Expected trading results from novice to expert. Okay, so down here you have the teen TikTok traders. You have the Wall Street bet noobs. And maybe over here, if you're a macro guy, you have somebody like a Druckenmiller. If you're a price action guy, maybe you have a Mark Minervini over here, a Peter Brandt, etc. Novice, expert. We are going to try to move our trading results like an inchworm from this side to this side. Why like an inchworm? Because if you look at the inchworm, it looks an awful lot like that bell curve we just talked about, doesn't it? In fact, you could remove this inchworm and say, this is your trading. This is your current knowledge of methods of trading and your mental knowledge of your own trading, right? Techniques for the tactical side of trading and for the psychological side of trading, okay? This is your A and your B and your C game. This is your trading. These are your expected results over 100 trades, somewhere around your B game, since frequency and performance line up to the bulk to be right here, okay? Now you may say, listen, I am dedicated to improving my trading results. Absolutely committed. I'm going to study every trading tactic I can find. I'm going to become an elite trader. You study the charts every weekend. You backtest an hour a day. You collaborate with other traders. You improve your physical and mental conditioning. You analyze the math of your trading. You adopt new techniques and methods. You do all these things committed to improving your trading. Does this sound like you? This sounds like me all the way up until about 2021, mid-2021, doing all these things nonstop. All these things, however, only fall into your A game. All these things help improve your A game. And what you do is you wind up, yes, moving your A game forward. Your A game shifts forward up this curve. But the times that you're actually trading in this like elaborate, I know all the logical right answers to every trading setup that exists out there that I've read about, you can access those so minimally that your trading results marginally move up. I want to ask if this feels like you. Does it feel like you spent the first couple years ramping up this learning curve on the technical side of trading, and you sort of hit a little bit of a slow spot. And so you studied harder and you spent more time on the charts and you watched more webinars and you went to more seminars and you paid for more courses. And it seemed like you kept investing in all this technical knowledge, but your results disproportionately lacked that move forward that you think your technical game has moved. Okay? Why has that happened? Because your C game over here is anchoring your overall performance. If you have not addressed your C game, you are anchored here. One way I would describe a curve that looks like this would be intermediate purgatory. You know all these techniques, you keep studying techniques, you keep studying, you keep collaborating with traders, you're slicing and dicing Excel sheets or Google Sheets. Why can't your expected results take that big move forward, big move up the curve? Probably because your C game's anchored. Even if you're a more expert trader, even if you've been at this way longer than I have, even if you're a much better trader than others that might consider themselves an intermediate, is there a level you've reached where you think, I know there's another level to my trading. I know there's something that can be unlocked next. Why can't I seem to unlock it? No matter how hard I study, no matter how much backtesting I do, no matter how much optimization I do on my trade log, I can't seem to move my trading to that next level. I want you to think, have you ever dedicated 3 months, 6 months, a year to unanchoring your C game? To move your entire game forward, you must move your C game forward. And to do that, you must prioritize fixing the flaws causing your C game. Okay? Anchored inchworms remain stuck. It is the unanchored inchworms that still have this nice bell curve shape to them that make real progress. Okay? If your method knowledge, your tactical, your technical knowledge, if it stretches to here in your A game, your highest leverage opportunity is to move your mental knowledge, your C game, forward. How do we do that? Flip the anchor. Anchor your A game. Stop studying technicals. Stop studying techniques. Stop studying the charts. Pause that just for a little while, for an interim period. And see, can I anchor my A game here and then move my C game forward? And therefore materially move my overall trade results forward, the center of my bell curve. Consistent improvement happens by taking one step forward from the front of your bell curve, where your A game becomes even better, followed by another step forward from the back, where your C game becomes less terrible. Can we just make our C game less terrible to complement us improving our A game? And if we do this over again, study technicals, move our A game forward, anchor it, move our C game forward. Study technicals, study analysis, move our A game forward, pause, think about our C game. How do we eliminate obvious mistakes? Move our C game forward. This is how you get material movement. This is how you escape intermediate purgatory. This is how you unlock your next level of trading that you know exists in you, that you just haven't seemed to be able to unlock no matter how much study and hard work and meditation and exercise you do. Okay? C game improvement must match A game improvement, so your entire skill set and level of performance rises. Your A game is not getting better without acquisition of new skills. Acknowledging trading is not all psychological, it's not 90% psychological, but your A game can only get better with new skills, while your C game is not going to get better without learning how to correct your mistakes. It's about moving both sides of your inchworm. Your A game with skills and technicals, your C game by improving your results and learning how to better address the roots of your mental game flaws. Okay? So this recap, mapping your performance, recap this section. Building an A to C game analysis allows you to grade your performance independent from natural trade outcome variance. Very important. Your only guarantee is your C game. That's what's happening automatically and subconsciously. Your A and B game are earned through study and backtesting. When mistakes occur, ask, was this an inevitable learning mistake, a mistake within your A game, something new that you've learned that was impossible to avoid? Or was this an emotionally induced obvious mistake? Did you know you weren't supposed to do this and you did it anyway, right? Learning mistakes, along with study, backtesting, analysis, can move your A game forward, whereas the obvious mistakes, they provide clues. The obvious mistakes in your C game provide clues as to what is anchoring your C game, and therefore anchoring your overall trading performance. Okay? Next, let's talk about mapping your emotional patterns, okay? The way many of you have been battling your trading errors is completely ass backwards. Excuse Jared's language here.